William, an ordinary guy, like many in our world. He doesn't stand out in any way. His appearance is modest and unremarkable. Of average height, with a slightly unsure gait, he often dresses in cheap clothes, not caring about fashionable trends. There's a mysterious gleam in his eyes that slightly unsettles those around him. William had a peaceful life in a small town, where everyone knows each other. He worked as a humble office worker, preferring a quiet and secluded lifestyle. Lacking bright social skills, he loved spending time reading books and listening to music alone. In his everyday life, there was no room for riddles and secrets, and the only thing that brought color to his routine was a young colleague named Mary. Will watched the girl every day with a secret, unrequited love, living through his dreams of a shared happy future. He saw her passing by his window, dressed in beautiful outfits, laughing cheerfully and joyfully interacting with others. Her laughter was his melody, and her smile was the light in his dark world. The guy thought of her constantly, weaving her into every thought and fantasy. He constructed their perfect life in his head: walks in the park, romantic candlelit evenings, laughter and happiness they could share together. He dreamed of them being together, supporting each other in difficult times and celebrating successes. Every day, he gathered courage to approach the girl and express his feelings, but fear held him back. He was afraid of rejection, afraid of losing something he never had. Every time he watched her from afar, his heart beat faster, and eventually, Will realized he could no longer hide his feelings. But fate was not on his side. On the day he decided it was time to tell the truth, tragedy struck. The girl happened to be in the wrong place at the wrong time when fate made its fateful turn. Mary was on an empty bus, on her way to her destination when a terrible accident occurred without warning. A series of unfortunate events merged into a terrible symphony of death and destruction. Suddenly, due to an unexpected malfunction, the bus went out of control. The steering failed, and the driver could no longer keep it on the road. The sounds of grinding and screeching grew louder and louder until the bus veered off the road and collided with an obstacle. The windows shattered into pieces, metal and concrete deformed, and the passengers' screams turned into sounds of despair, loss, and fear. Mary's mangled body ended up under the wreckage, prematurely ending her journey through life. Her eyes, once full of life and joy, were now empty, though still open. Mary had slipped into eternity, unable to say a word of comfort or farewell to the one who loved her in silence. The incident left behind a bitter sense of loss and silent grief that enveloped everyone who knew the girl. Her tragic end became a vivid picture of horror and devastation, where human destinies collided with the unyielding force of chance. William was left only to come to terms with the dreadful reality when he learned of the disaster. He lost his beloved, and his heart was torn to pieces. Every thought of her reminded him of the unrequited love and loss he could never forget. The tragedy with Mary left William's world stained with blood and tears, and in his soul crept a fear of the unknown. It was the moment when the world collapsed in an instant, and his dreams of a happy future scattered like smoke. Every night, the guy's dreams were filled with images of his beloved. In the agony of unrequited love and missed opportunities, his heart bled with pain, and he prayed to have just one moment to tell her how much he loved her. But now, in his chest lived an emptiness that could never be filled again. But everything changed. Narcolepsy became an integral part of William's life, transforming his once peaceful existence into an unpredictable and horrifying saga. Insomnia haunted him, and sleep episodes became like malevolent ghosts lurking at every turn. William couldn't understand why this was happening to him, feeling defenseless against forces he couldn't control. He feared falling asleep, knowing that his dreams would torment him, inflicting even more suffering. But staying awake was equally difficult. He was constantly plagued by fatigue and sleep deprivation. And then, when his body finally succumbed to exhaustion and his mind fell into the hands of nightmares, the first strange dream of his past life seized him. He found himself in an unfamiliar setting where everything was alien yet strangely familiar. As if his soul traveled through time and space, he relived tragic moments of the past that seemed real and were his own. The young man stood on a dark street, shrouded in fog, feeling the bone-chilling cold. A storm of emotions raged within him: fear, horror, sorrow. He saw blood and tears, heard sounds of pain and moaning. The tragedy unfolded before his eyes, and he couldn't look away, as if he were a spectator in this horrifying play. Will felt powerless against the might of these dreams that seemed more real than his own life. He couldn't grasp what was happening and desperately tried to unravel the mystery of his gift and the reasons for such nightmares. With trembling hands and fear in his heart, William decided it was time to turn to specialists to unravel the mystery of his terrifying dreams. He spent countless sleepless nights before summoning the courage to take this step, as he didn't know how official medicine or psychology would react to his unique case. William felt lonely and isolated with his horrifying secrets. None of his close ones or friends could understand what was happening to him, and he feared even sharing his visions with anyone. But his desire to understand what was happening outweighed his fear, and he resolved to take a step that could change his life. Returning from work, right near his home on a bulletin board, the man noticed a barely noticeable business card with contacts. William's heart raced as he made an appointment with a psychologist, specializing in dream research and atypical sleep conditions. On the day of the scheduled meeting, he felt a mix of anticipation and fear. The gazes of passers-by seemed mocking, as if they saw a strange person in him. What if they really think I'm crazy? Thoughts tormented him, but the desire to find answers gave him strength to continue. In the specialist's office, he tried to be as honest as possible to explain his strange dreams and nightmares. He told about how his past began to manifest in his dreams, about his unrequited love for Mary, about narcoleptic attacks that literally tore him away from reality. The psychologist listened attentively, and William could see no doubts or mockery in his eyes. But the fear still clung to him. Maybe my dreams are just a manifestation of illness or psychological disorder, William asked hopefully. Or perhaps they're merely a result of the stress and trauma I've endured. He feared hearing an official diagnosis that could shatter his last illusions of hope for recovery. He feared being labeled and misunderstood, becoming a subject of research and various therapies. However, he understood that if he wanted to find answers and confront his fears, he had to trust the professionals who could help him unravel the mystery of his strange dreams. So, he left his fate in the hands of Dr. Martin, preparing for the possibility of a new world of truth or unsettling revelations before him. Dr. James Martin, an enthusiastic researcher, was known for his unconventional studies in the field of dreams and psychic phenomena. He always sought to understand the profound secrets of the human mind and was willing to explore even the most enigmatic occurrences. Will's account piqued the doctor's interest and enthusiasm. He knew that such cases could hold the key to understanding the human mind and shedding light on the mysterious processes that occur within it. Seeing a mix of fear and hope in the young man's eyes, the desire to comprehend what was happening, and the despair from the madness of his nightmares. James decided to investigate his case more thoroughly, marveling at the candidness and emotional intensity of William's tales of his strange dreams. Recognizing that he was dealing with a rare case, the doctor began conducting specialized research to understand the nature of the patient's dreams and their connection to his past lives. He conducted nighttime observation sessions, recording William's dreams to study their content and structure in greater detail. He asked numerous questions to learn more about the events that could have influenced his dreams and narcolepsy. The careful examination of William's dreams and profound discussions with him led James to the conviction that these were not merely random nightmares, but something far more complex and enigmatic. He observed links between the dreams and William's past traumas, which he had long tried to forget. He hypothesized that the dreams might serve as a mechanism for self-healing, an attempt by his mind to recover lost memories and make sense of the past. Dr. Martin's research led him to contemplate even deeper questions about the nature of dreams and past lives. He realized that this case could hold great significance for science and the understanding of human psychology. He was filled with determination to continue his research and find answers to all the mysteries that lay ahead of him. After meeting with Dr. Martin, William felt a mix of fear and excitement. James's passion for research, his enthusiasm, and thirst for knowledge infected the young man. As they continued to communicate and discuss his strange dreams, William gradually began to understand that his case might hold deep meaning and crucial significance for understanding the human psyche. James Martin became his mentor and guide in this enigmatic world. He showed William that delving into dreams could help unravel the mysteries of his past lives and find the key to his narcolepsy. Together, they devised techniques for self-analysis and controlled dream immersion. At first, William hesitated, afraid of losing touch with reality and sinking into a realm of nightmares. However, his thirst for understanding and desire to unravel the mystery of his dreams grew stronger than his fear. He realized that within this immersion might lie the key to his healing, understanding his gift, and deciphering the reasons behind his strange dreams. And so, William resolved to undertake the experiments. Gradually, he learned to control his dreams and become aware of when he was sleeping. He voluntarily immersed himself in his dreams, setting out to explore past lives and seek answers to the questions that haunted him. Dr. James Martin was not only a clever but also a cunning researcher, understanding that for William, controlling his dreams could be a decisive factor in exploring his gift. He developed a special gas mask that helped William control and focus his dreams, avoiding random awakenings and more effectively exploring his past lives. The mask featured a reliable system for administering a mild sedative gas that induced sleep gently, helping William relax before delving into the profound and unpredictable world of dreams. James taught William proper breathing and meditative techniques, allowing him to control his state of mind before using the mask. When William was ready, Dr. Martin helped him put on the mask and adjust the gas supply. At that moment, William felt his breathing deepen and calm, and the fear gradually subsided. He focused on his goal and posed questions he wanted to explore in his dreams. As the dream immersion began, William remained conscious, and his mind became clearer and sharper. He saw his dreams as if they were reality, yet simultaneously understood they were merely illusions he had the power to alter. With this technique, William started to comprehend his past and discover new avenues of exploration. His dreams became more manageable and structured, allowing Dr. Martin to conduct deeper research and unveil the mysteries of the human psyche through this unique gift. With each new immersion, he uncovered new aspects of his gift. He witnessed his past lives, experienced tragedies and joys, journeyed through time and space. Each dream became a guiding star for him, indicating that his abilities were more than random nightmares. They held something greater. With every immersion, his interest in researching his dreams grew. He became passionate about this mysterious realm and realized he could help other people facing similar atypical states of consciousness. Joint research with Dr. Martin became a journey into uncharted depths of consciousness for William. He understood that his gift carried meaning and significance, and he decided to use it for the greater good, to unravel the mysteries of the human psyche and help others understand and overcome their own strange dreams and nightmares. However, Dr. Martin restrained his enthusiasm and persistently dissuaded him from public appearances and revealing his gift to the world. He justified his actions by saying that before sharing it with the world, they needed to gather enough evidence and conduct more profound research into William's dream phenomenon. The doctor's reluctance to disclose the phenomenon of William's strange dreams began to unsettle the young man. William experienced conflicting emotions. On one hand, he understood the logic and reason behind James's approach, but on the other hand, the situation started to arouse suspicion. He felt that the doctor might be hiding something from him. Perhaps not all aspects of his gift were as positive and safe as he claimed. This made William doubt the honesty and motives of the researcher. Every time William brought up this topic, James tried to steer the conversation in another direction, claiming that the time had not yet come and that they needed to continue their focused work on the research. In such moments, William felt deceived. His feelings and desires were not met with proper understanding. With each passing day, William's trust in Dr. Martin weakened, and he began seeking alternative ways to interpret his gift by studying literature on his own. Doubts about James's sincerity prompted him to question what might lead the researcher to such a decision. Perhaps he feared competition within scientific circles or believed that keeping information about William's gift a secret could bring him more personal gain. The relationship between William and Dr. Martin began to strain, and it became evident that they were not entirely aligned in their views and motivations. William felt the need to seek answers on his own, even if it would be more challenging and time-consuming than continuing to collaborate with the doctor. After William became more actively involved in exploring his dreams and delving into his past lives, he began experiencing more intense and convoluted dreams. He saw himself in various roles, reliving lives entangled with violence, betrayal, and tragedies. These dreams grew increasingly eerie and enigmatic, leaving him unable to comprehend why his subconscious was taking him to such dark scenarios. William started to feel like someone or something was trying to establish a connection with him through these strange dreams. It was as if an invisible force was pulling him into the depths of the past to show him tragic moments and emotions. He had a sense that someone or something was attempting to convey an important message or lesson, but he couldn't grasp what exactly it was. Such dreams left an indelible impression. He would wake up covered in cold sweat, his heart pounding, overwhelmed by fear and anxiety. Night after night, he delved into new plots that seemed more real than his own life. William tried to understand what caused him to experience such terrifying dreams and emotions. He actively studied various theories and interpretations of dreams, seeking answers to his questions. During his research, he began to notice the connection between his dreams and his real life, observing how some of the dreams manifested in his own personality and past, which he had carefully concealed from himself or tried to forget. These dreams became a kind of mirror, reflecting deep fears and traumas. However, the question of who or what owned this enigmatic connection through dreams still remained unresolved. William felt that someone or something was trying to communicate with him, but he couldn't determine who or what it might be. This created a sense of uncertainty and even slight fear of the unknown within him. The constant strain on the nervous system finally took its toll, and William's psychological health began to deteriorate. A series of horrifying and emotionally intense dreams led to excessive fatigue and sleep deprivation, blurring the line between dream and reality. William increasingly felt disoriented, struggling to grasp what was happening in reality and what was not. He became more prone to irritability and anxiety, while visions of violence and tragedies made him relive internal traumas of the past, devastating his consciousness and psyche. The growing sense of anxiety compelled him to double the dosage of the sweet gas. But despite his persistence, the exhausted William was not prepared for what the next vision had in store for him. In this dream, he suddenly found himself in a place that seemed familiar. It was his home, where he had so often envisioned a happy life with his beloved. But now, before his eyes unfolded a scene that triggered a surge of anger and disappointment. William saw James in the embrace of that very Mary, his unforgettable, unrequited love. Time seemed to freeze, and his heart clenched with rage and bitterness. It was a blow to him, betrayal from the man he trusted and who had aided him in his strange exploration. Unprecedented fury overwhelmed William. He couldn't believe that James had done this, for the doctor had always assured him of sincere support and dedication to their research. But now, a completely different truth was laid bare before him. A powerful surge of emotions forced William to open his eyes and hastily survey the room. To his surprise, the agitated James stood nearby, completely bewildered. Furiously tearing off the tightly fitting mask from his face, William stood up and reached for an object on the nearby table. Hastily grasping a sharp tool, he grabbed the doctor by the collar with one hand and, with a precise motion, plunged the weapon into the villain's eye. Warm liquid trickled down his fingers and palm as he drove the handle deeper into the wretched skull. Realizing the horror of what he had just done, Will stepped back, leaning on the couch again. To his astonishment, the victim of his wrath not only remained standing, but also staggered forward, slowly removing an extraneous object from the now empty eye socket. Seems like someone completely forgot the difference between good and evil, huh? James remarked with irony and mockery, approaching so close that splatters of blood stained Will's clothes. The doctor's smile made the blood freeze in his veins, and William's surprise turned into complete bewilderment and fear. The gaze of his assailant was filled with a strange and incomprehensible power. William couldn't believe that the pen he had aimed at James was now in the doctor's hands. It was utterly unbelievable and inexplicable. Collapsing onto the couch, he felt weak and defenseless against this enigmatic entity. Poor little boy, completely lost in the labyrinth of his own mind, unable to distinguish reality from his fears and fantasies, James uttered, as if reading Will's thoughts. "You're so angry with me, William." "You're not afraid of me, no," James said with a twisted smile on his face. These words only intensified his panic and confusion. He stared at James, not knowing what to do, and sensing this, the doctor took the initiative into his own hands. "You want revenge, to do what you've always wanted in your life, just this once," he said mockingly, placing the pen back into William's palm. Clutching the weapon tightly in his hand, he aimed it at the second eye. "Come on, you wimp, do it." The mix of fear and rage boiled inside Will. He didn't understand what was happening. Seeing the man's indecision, James made the move for him with a sharp push, blood splattering on his face. The doctor burst into a deep, sinister laughter, vanishing into thin air. William felt his heart race and his breathing become erratic. He didn't know what to do or what to expect next. Horror and desperation reflected in his eyes. He realized that his desire for exploration and uncovering his gift had led him to something dark and dangerous. Now he was a pawn in his own nightmares, and he had no idea how to escape this terror. Amidst the thunderous laughter, the room swallowed the bewildered victim into darkness.